Stablecoin frenzy, talking about Ripple and, of course, how this may play into taking on BlackRock. This is going to be a good one. My name is Paul Barron. Welcome back into Tech Path. We'll get into stablecoins today, talk about how this all plays into the market, and also some of the crypto projects, including Ripple. Before we get started, I want to thank our sponsor, and that's iTrust Capital. Get into your own crypto IRA, and of course, the best way to do that is to jump over to itrustcapital.com. You can do all your self-directed trades, and it's a very small fee. No monthly fees to maintain your account, none of that. You can, of course, get into Bitcoin, Ethereum, precious metals, all of that played within your own crypto IRA. Big benefit here is you still have before April 15th to actually get in and take benefits from your tax from 2023. So take advantage of that. Use our link down below. Get a $100 funding reward. Let's go over to the topic for today, and I want to get on to this topic. Ripple is set to issue a USD-backed stablecoin, bringing a lot more utility and liquidity to XRP. A couple of points. This will be 100% backed by the US dollar deposits. 2.8 trillion by 2028 is the estimation. And the launch itself will be available on the Ledger, on the XRP Ledger, and Ethereum blockchain. So that's a pretty significant move here, with plans to expand to additional blockchains and decentralized finance. So DeFi is going to play into this over a while during this launch. This, of course, being built to utilize the XRP as the bridge asset. I think everybody kind of gets that. All the big benefits they talk about, enterprise grade, kind of the benefits that Ripple brings to the marketplace, compliance mindset. Yeah, well, they've kind of had to be compliant to a certain extent. Liquidity on DEXs, I think this will be a big factor. And then transparent stablecoin reserve. This trumps USDT and the problems that Tether, of course, has. And then multi-chain compatibility, probably the most unique feature of the XRP token for a stablecoin. Here's Brad Garlinghouse talking about it. Launching a stablecoin is a natural step for Ripple as we bridge the gap between traditional finance and crypto. And we have the years of experience, regulatory footprint, strong balance sheet. I would agree. This is a really good move for Ripple as a whole. And it's kind of funny because this has been one that we've been watching for a while. When is XRP, when does Ripple launch their own stablecoin? They were asked many times on camera about this. He was very cagey about it, which means that it was going to happen. Jeremy Allaire even jumps in and says, hey, welcome to the party. Ripple, it's encouraging to see more companies take on the compliance. Listen, there's a lot of room for this, and you have to think about the market in general and what the capacity is. I know today we're only dealing with around maybe 2 trillion if it 10x's, according to Matt Hogan. This was him talking, but actually promoted by Stake with Pride, which, by the way, is a Cardano bull, I believe. We've seen them in our comments many times. But stablecoin market will 10x soon. That may be actually maybe underperforming, because remember, right now we're talking about 200 bill in there. If we see a 2 trillion market cap for these tokens for, stablecoins, but I think the market could grow much greater than that. Just when you look at the capacity for banks, nation states, all sort of tool sets that are going to be used across all L2s and even some of the other blockchains that are really moving. But one blockchain that may miss the boat here, and they said it, not me, this is a Cardano person saying this, is that Cardano may miss out on some of the stablecoin liquidity. And I would agree, because there's no current stablecoin on Cardano. Here's Carlos Domingo talking about the first on-chain dividend for BUIDL was paid. This is the beginning of something very special, and I think we've probably been one of the few channels that have really isolated on this and talked about this to a certain extent to give you guys a little bit more education. This is a big deal because it pairs up kind of a stable coin, if you think about BUIDL as a stable coin, and that, of course, all coming through BlackRock. Now, granted, it's just the beginning. Here's the max total supply right now, only 9 holders, but 42 transfers. We're going to see some movement here. They're starting to move around. Remember, this is only a couple of weeks old. It's very new, and the likelihood of this starting to really take off, I think, for Wall Street and what BlackRock is doing is a big deal. So could it be an XRP versus a BlackRock? Remember, these are big money entities that they're basically going to be competing for with what Securitize, what Domingo is talking about, and what BlackRock is doing versus what Ripple is doing. So pretty cool stuff, I think, because this is all good for and very bullish, I think, for the markets in general. The SEC, interestingly enough, the SEC is seeking a ridiculous 300% of unregistered sales from Ripple. This, of course, we know about from the case itself, and I think they're just, trying to lash out. SEC typically collects about 11% of unregistered sales, but in the Ripple case, no, we want 300% of sales that were deemed as registered securities. So, I think that it is what it is. You're going to see fights like this all the time. All right, Ripple backed Futureverse to bring ReadyPlayerOne to franchise to the Metaverse. This is something that starts to integrate Ripple in a little bit further. We have a clip for you guys that breaks this down on Ripple and the Readyverse. Listen in. All right, so here's TechCrunch talking about ReadyPlayerOne creator debuting open. This is a battle royale experience, all tied into Ripple, third-person battle royale experience, which players compete against each other in a game show-styled multi-round collaborative modes using various gaming techniques such as shooting, tactical positioning, and driving, amongst other things that will be out there. And of course, this comes from the white paper a little bit on Futureverse. And one of the things you'll notice here, they partnered with Ripple and the XRP Ledger to provide base block rewards in the form of XRP. So XRP will be used as the gas token on Futureverse going forward. So there's another example. I've got a clip for you that kind of explains this a little bit further. Listen in.
We pulled together 11 companies across 4 jurisdictions that were focused on either infrastructure, content generation tools, or content itself into one vertically integrated metaverse powerhouse. Now we have, I think, well over 250 people in 16 countries around the world, and we work with the biggest brands across 5 different sectors of content. The Root network is a XRPL sidechain. Uses XRP for gas natively on the network, and it's integrated to things like the XLS20 standard. And so the Root network was designed to both provide superpowers to XRP and to the Ledger to do things that it couldn't do, but also to solve the usability issues for bringing new users into Web3. And on top of that, we built these core protocols and services that make it both easy for users to interact and for developers to build on top of it. Things like Futureverse, which is our digital identity and single sign-on system, our asset register, which enables interoperability of content in the metaverse, embedded protocols in the network that support creating assets and managing assets. We'll be hooking into the XRP AMM shortly to increase liquidity on the network. So making it simple for developers and making it simple for users at the core of what the Root network's about.
All right, so a lot going in there, and the good thing is that XRP is starting to move out into other areas of what we will see in Web3. And I will go to another, because I think the other phase of Web3 is going to be AI integrations. We'll see this in gaming. We'll see this in all sorts of use cases. And I think still yet to come is some of the real creative ones. This is a clip talking about AI coming into XRP. Listen in.
You've got all these people out there that are like, AI generated content, it's awesome, ChatGPT and Midjourney, but the metaverse, oh no, don't want to be associated with that. Where do you think that content lives? This is a little demo that shows some of the highlights of the technology the team's building that we use internally now, and we'll be making available to developers and consumers soon.
Hey Aaron, good to see you. What brings you to Amsterdam? Cool, I'm a big fan of innovation. What kind of things does Futureverse build? Well, I'd love to know more about that AI stuff. It all seems a bit scary to me, but I've heard good things about XRP.
Next stage is to put those out as creator tools and developer tools, and integrate those with the SDKs. We just actually announced yesterday our partnership, Crucible, which produces SDKs for Unreal and Unity. They have, I think, over 35,000 developer downloads of their SDKs, about 3% of the game developer market. So huge penetration for these products and services to go into the existing game developer community, all connected back to the root network and our protocols for ownership.
All right, so I know it sounds complicated, but really the keywords there was Unreal and Unity, interoperable. And of course, AI integrations. And people ask me all the time, is AI going to ever really have a big effect on crypto? Well, there's a good example of what we will see in blockchain evolution. I think this is just the beginning. And as I mentioned earlier, it's the creative nature of how companies are going to figure out tool sets and ways to use this. And it may not always be in-game assets. We could probably see this in digital ID, all sorts of media industry, which I think will be some of the future of how AI is used as well. But a lot happening out there for sure. If you look at the XRP chart right now, a lot of sideways action here on the daily, but a little bit of a dip. And then, of course, XRP performing on the day, not too bad, up 4.5%. And the root network, let me kind of scan down to that because I'm here in the MSI projects. This, of course, is the root network. And this is one of the projects that they're mentioning. So we haven't mentioned this project before on the show. So this is one that we are now starting to watch, and for this reason. So there are some potentials here that could be very intriguing as Ripple starts to roll out its stablecoin. None of this happens until that gets going because they need that for the liquidity side. All of this plays up into a competitive field of USDC, Tether, maybe Ripple, and eventually, you know, for institutions, BUIDL. So you can kind of see BlackRock, all these guys are now playing in the same field. All right, if you guys are not part of the Diamond Circle, get in now. It's a great place to get additional content. Follow me on X, @Paul Barron. We'll catch you next time right here on TechPath.